Hello guys, I am Arvind and in this lecture I am going to discuss macros in C programming. So let's go ahead and we'll discuss macro. So macros are nothing but a piece of code which is replaced by the value of macro, and it is also known as macro definition, and macro is defined by hash defined directive. So let's go ahead and we'll discuss syntax of macro. So in C programming, we can define macros like this. So we will use hash defined directive, and then we will use macro and then macro value. So here macro is known as macro template and macro value is known as macro expansion. It is important to note that the macros are not terminated by semicolon. So now let's go ahead and we'll discuss types of macros. So we can divide macros into two categories. So first one is object like macros and second one is function like macros. So let's go ahead and we'll discuss one by one. The object like macro is an identifier that is replaced by the value, and it is widely used to represent numeric constants or symbolic constants. So this is the example of object like macros where we use hash defined directive, and pi is a macro template and 3.14 is a macro expansion or macro value. So here pi is the macro name which will be replaced by the value 3.14. So I hope it is clear to you. Now moving on to next topic, and that is function like macros. So it is an expression used to perform a particular operation, and it is an alternative way to define a function. So here is the example of function like macros. So here we are using hash defined directive, and then we are using a square function with a parameter a, and then this is the macro expansion a into a. So guys, let's go ahead and we'll discuss object like macros and function like macros in Turbo C++ compiler. So let's open up the Turbo C++ compiler. So guys, in this program I'm going to find out the area of circle using macro. So I have declared a macro here with the help of hash defined directive, and pi is basically a macro name and the 3.14 is a macro value. Py is also known as macro template and 3.14 is also known as macro expansion. And in main function I have declared two variables, a that is of float type and r that is of integer type, and I will store area of circle in variable a and r will be the radius of circle. Now I am taking input for radius by the user using a scanf function, and then I will pass the macro in this instruction. So pi will be replaced by its value here, and then we can calculate the area of circle by this instruction, and then we can print the area of circle by this printf function. So now if I run this code, now it is requesting to enter the radius of circle. So let's say the radius of circle is 2 and hit enter. Then we can find out the area of circle, and that would be 12.56000. So I hope it is clear to you. So guys, we can also declare a statement as a macro. So let's go ahead and I will show you in the another program. So guys, we can declare a statement as a macro. So I have declared two statements as a macro. So this is the first statement, hello Arvind, as a macro double a, and this is the second statement as a macro double b. Now in the main function I have declared a variable n, and I am taking input for this variable n using a scanf function, and I am using if statement here, and I am putting a condition here. If the value of n is less than 5, then double a macro will be executed, otherwise macro double b will be executed. So now if I run this program, it is basically requesting to enter a number. So let's say number is 4, so it is basically printing hello Arvind. And if I run this program again and entering let's say 23, then it is printing C programming. So we can declare a statement as a macro. So I hope it is clear to you. So guys, in the next program I will show you the working of function like macro. So let's go ahead and we'll discuss it. So guys, now I am trying to find out the square of a number using function like macro. So I have declared a function like macro square, and this is the expansion of this function like macro. And now in the main function I have declared two variables a and s will hold the value of square, and now I am taking input for the variable a, and then I will pass this a to this function like macro, and whenever we call this function it will be replaced by n into n, and that will be stored to s, and then we can print the square of number using this print function. So now if I run this program, it is basically requesting to enter a number. So let's say number is 4, so the square is 16. So I hope it is clear to you, and thank you so much guys for watching this video. Just in case you liked it, do not forget to like and subscribe. I will see you then in the next video.